Thanks for all, and good weather too. I can promise that. Now, first of all, thank you all for coming to our conference, and I would like for the heading for my final remarks, I will borrow something from Heather Conley. She said it's time for confidence, and this is a good headline, I believe. I will come back to why I think this should be the concluding message for this conference. But before I go into that, I would like to just describe give you some background to why we have this conference and what is Stockholm Free World Forum. What is it that we are trying to do? And the thing is that we need to raise the awareness of security policy issues in our country. Now we are having a vivid debate on defense issues. We discuss the defense budget and what kind of weapons systems are we supposed to buy. This is a vivid debate, but we're not debating the actual security policy problems that surrounds our country. So we need to raise the awareness of these issues in the Swedish society in general. And last year we also said that when we had this conference that we need to speak freely about these issues, because when, I'm sorry to say this, Veronica, but when diplomats start to talk, they talk in euphemisms. But that's in the nature of diplomacy. That's how diplomacy must be run. But for Swedish purposes, we need to speak freely, and we need to say the things that the government officials cannot say. And we need to speak about Swedish the Swedish relation to NATO, of course, because Sweden, regardless of if you think that Sweden should join NATO or not, Sweden is searching for a new role in our area, and we do not know what this role is supposed to be in the future. So we need to discuss this, and we need to do it freely. So this is the background why we are having this conference, and we had one conference last year, and I believe that there is a good chance that we will have a conference next year too. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone that has helped out with this conference. And we had some financial support from the US Embassy and also from Saab. Thank you for this. And I would like in particular to thank Katarina Tracz, who has been the director for this conference. Thank you very much for this work. Yes, please go ahead. And also thanks to Mats, our chairman. And we also had really great help from our intern Sanna Moberg. And also Rebecca, where are she at? Okay. And Leila. This is my fantastic staff. And we also have our Thomas at the back supporting us with sound and pictures, and Hasse at the corner. Thank you. And thank you all speakers and panelists for coming here, and you also as the audience, Now to the final remarks. I said time for confidence, and why do I believe that? Well, first of all, we are at the moment intellectually behind, not mentally behind, but intellectually behind. We are disorganized, we are divided, we are confused. A lot of things has happened in a very short time, and a lot of people say things that we should do this, we should do this, we should do that. And I also was in Tallinn during the conference, and there is so many people saying we should do this, we should do that. no one has actually summed it up yet, and I believe this is a sign. Not we feel disorganized now, but I think we have just started this discussion. And unfortunately, I also believe that there will be no post-crisis, post-Ukraine crisis. I think that we actually have moved into a new era, and unfortunately, we have a new Europe. I'm sad to say this, but I don't think that things will not switch back to normal in any short term. And one thing that we have discussed, and I think needs to be discussed more thoroughly, are sanctions. Because we talk a lot about sanctions, but we talk about different types of sanctions. We had Vladimir said that we should try to sanction the Kremlin and not the Russian people. Oh, that's of course we shouldn't. But at the same time, if you want to have, we also have a discussion: should we try to lower the world oil price in order to hurt the economy? But that would actually hurt the entire Russian population. So we need to discuss more thoroughly what do we mean by meaningful sanctions. We also need to realize that maybe the Putin regime is not acting in a rational way, not in the rational way that we believe is rational. I think Gudrun during this morning spoke well about this, that this is Putin's actions has nothing to do with economics. That so how are we going to cope with him in this respect? Well, my answer would be that, well, maybe Putin is acting in an irrational, emotional way, but that doesn't mean that we have to do the same. We can form a rational counter strategy based on Russia's weaknesses. And I think that some of the weaknesses was spelled out this morning. We have the Russian economy is not so strong. It cannot support this kind of policy in the long run. And as Vladimir put out this morning, the popular base of the Putin regime maybe is not so strong as we think it is. Now, time for confidence. Why? Well, democracies are disorganized and slow to react. At least that's what they look like. They look weak. Many authoritarian rulers have looked on democracies and thought that they are weak because they quarrel and they are slow to react. But if we look at what we actually have, now the European Union has a population of 500 million people. The United States has a population of 300 million. That is 800 million people. Together, the European Union and the United States has half of the world's GDP. This is what we have. Now, we might be disorganized now, but we are powerful and we are many, and we also have a lot of friends in the world. So just give us a little time and a little confidence, and we will sort these things out. Thank you.